everyone? It's your girl Kiara Washington Speaks, and welcome back to my channel. To all of my returning subscribers, I want to say thank you all so much for continuing to support the brand and the channel. To all of my new subscribers, welcome to the family. So look, family, as you can see in the title and in the description, today we are going to be talking about knowing when to make that next move. So I know you may be thinking, Kiara, what made you think about this topic? How did this topic come to mind? How did this even become something that you even want to discuss today? Well, for all of my supporters and people who have been following the channel for at least over the last year or two, you all realize that there was a span where I wasn't really creating content. But before the recent 6 months, previously I had a few videos on Verizon. And if you don't know, I work for Verizon Wireless. I've been working for Verizon for about almost going on 3 years, like about 2 years and 8 months. I love my job. And I will say this career move that I made has given me the opportunity to really be able to expand myself, expand my network, and to really be able to grow and make the most money I've ever made consistently doing very simple work. Now, when I say simple, I don't mean necessarily easy. I just mean simple work. So if you don't know, I am a salesperson at Verizon, which we call a solution specialist. I have been for, like I said, the last 2.5 years, like about 2 years and 8 months. But I have gotten to a point where I feel as though I have hit my ceiling in the solutions specialist role. Now, you may say, Kiara, what do you mean that you've hit your ceiling? This is what I simply mean by that. I know for a fact that I have had many phases, at least maybe 3 to 5 major phases since I've been in this role. Now, of course, your first phase is when you're new, and newness can go on for really the first 6 months. Sometimes if you really drag it out, it can go to like the first year. But after the first year, you're not new anymore. But I would say for me, my newness lasted probably the first 5 to 6 months, because the first 3 months, as I mentioned in a previous video, I was on guaranteed commission, which means I was constantly going to make the guaranteed commission whether I sold up to that commission level or not. But I would say, going into my second year, I really began to get my feet under me. I really began to find my own lane. I found my strengths. I realized the things that I wasn't necessarily strong in, but I knew the people to go to ask questions. So, short story, my second year was really the year where I was able to really expand, grow. Now, of course, everyone knows we've been in COVID. So COVID has really kind of taken some of us and put us in different spaces. Prime example, for my company, I was redeployed into an entirely different position for about 5 months where I worked from home, which was awesome, by the way. And I did do a video, which I will link above, me working from home. And it was pretty cool. It was pretty awesome. But the short story is, over the last 2.5 years, I've really realized that there has been so much growth, so much nurturing, so much help that I've had in this role, but that it's time for me to really listen to the universe and really listen to my heart on where else I need to be. So the short story is, I have really been applying for different roles within a company. Now, of course, the roles that I have been applying for are still sales roles. They are still roles that require me to still do my work, but most of the roles are what we call pseudo management roles. They are self-independent roles. They are roles where I necessarily will not have to be in the store day to day. And so somebody might ask, Kiara, why are you going into this different role? Why are you transitioning like this? I'll say this. For me, the type of woman that I know that I am, let's get this straight, I'm an Aquarius. So if you know anything about Aquarius, we're very self-motivated. We're very free-spirited. We like to manage ourselves. We really do have an issue with authority at times, and we don't like to be micromanaged. Now, what I'll say is, I haven't overly experienced micromanagement in my role and in my store. And even when I've helped out and gone to other stores to help them, if they've been short on staff or they may have had certain drives or promoters, I may have gone to help. I never felt that I was overly managed in those roles. But here's the thing. As a 30-year-old woman who is in school, who is pursuing her degree in HR management, and who knows that in the end, the role that I will end up taking in management in HR will keep me working to myself most of the time, at least 90% of the time, I really would like to put myself, and I'm going to put myself in a space where I'm able to start getting that apprenticeship and that experience under me now. And so I've been applying to roles that basically will have me meeting with different companies, different businesses, but still representing the Verizon brand. And I'll talk about later in another video exactly what these roles are, because I don't really want to spend a lot of time talking about the roles. But I really want to encourage you all to do something a little bit different from what you've been doing. And the reason why I say this is because a lot of us know what it is to work a job, whether we make good money or not, whether we make decent money or not. We know what it's like to work a job for years on end and do the same thing day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out. But I know a lot of us know what it feels like to have that humdrum feeling when it comes to work. It's just coasting across, coasting across. There's never peaks. There's never peaks. And even at the same time, even if we are making decent money, even if we are doing good, that straight across sometimes never leads us to that next level. And so for me with myself, it kind of reminds me of when I was working as a bartender. And I did a video in my school video where I kind of talked about my history working as a bartender, which I'll do another video. If you want to hear about my life as a bartender, I'll do some videos on that. But I worked as a bartender for about 4 years, maybe a little bit more. And I remember being asked by management several times over to step into a leadership role, And I remember just not being interested in it because I knew I made really great money as a bartender. I didn't really want to be overly responsible for other people. And I remember just not wanting to do it, just not being interested. And so now fast forward 5 years later, my mindset has changed. I've grown. And so as I did a video yesterday talking about we have the right to change our ideas and beliefs, I want to let you all know that you have the same strength and power within yourself to change your current state. If you know for a fact that the role that you are in at your current job is not getting you to where you want to be, it's never going to get you making the money and getting the network and the opportunities that you want, take it upon yourself to figure out what else is out there. Now, here's the great thing about the company that I work for. I work for a big corporation, so there's so many different levels, channels that I could go into. But the reality of it is even with my degree, if I decide that I want to do something outside of the company, my degree puts me in a space to be able to do that. What I'm saying to you is I'm not beating you up and telling you, oh, you got to go back to school. That would be a good thing if you did and you can afford to pay for it and you know your job offers tuition assistance. But even if that's not your thing, really start looking at how you can become a more valuable asset in the company that you work for. Because see, this is something that I want to share with you really quickly. Skills are transferable. Skills should be transferable. So here's the thing. Some of us, we're cool with going to work and doing the work, right? And making the money. But a lot of us are not really cool with taking on the next responsibility. But inside of our heads and inside of our hearts, we want more out of life. We want more money. We want more experience. We want to be seen and noticed more. Well, the question becomes, how are you able to do that if you're not putting yourself on Front Street, if you're not taking initiative, if you're not really getting yourself into communication with folks who have already been where you are? See, in a previous video I did, I want to say it was 2 videos back, I talked about how working and being in my purpose has helped me to be able to capture the attention of folks who are on higher levels than me, that have been able to reach down to me, and I don't mean a negative way, but reach down and out to me to be able to give me insight to help lift me up. And see, the cool thing about that is I don't care who you are. I don't care how smart you think you are, and I think I'm very smart. But we all need someone else that we can, have a conversation with. We all need someone that can help mentor and guide us. We all need someone that can speak life into us and help educate, motivate, and inspire us. So gaining peers, gaining mentors, gaining people who have wisdom is very key and very essential in your life if you want to grow. So for me, back to me, I realized I hit my glass ceiling. I realized, honestly, I hit my glass ceiling probably right before COVID happened. But as I went through the transition of working from home, as I went through the transition of getting back into the retail store, I realized yet again, Kiara, you're good at your job. People like you. You get along. You have great rapport with your customers and your referral base, but that is not the issue. The issue is you want more, and you're not wrong for wanting more. So the question became in my mind, Kiara, how do you get more? How do you expand? And it's simple. If I want more, I have to take initiative. If I want more, I have to champion different roles. If I want more, I have to sit in the office and really pick my supervisor's brain on what I need to be, where I need to be, or what I should be doing to be noticed more within the company. And so really quickly, I want to give y'all a little quick side story before I go. Now, I mentioned something earlier about working in your purpose. The reason why I always talk about consistently working in your purpose is because when you are working in your purpose, you never know who's watching, you never know who's paying attention. And I have a new district manager in my region because the company's doing a lot of changes. A lot of things are going, people are going in different channels, different roles. So I have a new district manager from the one I had previously when I started the company. Well, my district manager came in to the store. He's been into the store at least maybe 3 or 4 times since he's been in his new role. And pretty much every single time he's come in, we've had great conversations. We talked about life. We talked about work. We talked about school. We have really been able to engage each other and really have heart to hearts. And I mean, really probably go off grid and go talk in the corner for about 15, 20, 25 minutes and really get to know each other. Well, here's the short story. I mentioned to my manager that, hey, just a couple of things about my life, and let them know, hey, I did, write a book last year because I was going through a lot of things. I had, the kidney removal, the left radical nephrectomy, I had all these different things. And, even though I went through those things, it never stopped me from moving forward. I learned even more resiliency through those transitions. Well, check this out. My DM, my district manager, was so inspired by me that he reached out to his manager, who is maybe 2 levels up from him, to basically say, hey, when we do our next territory call, which is literally like the north to down to almost like a little bit southeast coast. So these are like probably over, I would say, close to 500, 600 people on this call, maybe more. And so he's like, I want Kiara to speak on the next territory call. Mind you, I do know the regional manager. Me and her have built a decent relationship, and we've been talking more. She's a great woman, guiding light, awesome. And so he told her about me. She's like, oh yeah, Kiara, she's great. And told her about my story, and she was like, well, yeah, let's get her on the call we got coming up for the territory. When I tell you, there is nothing like being in the right space at the right time, y'all. Speaking on the territory call, even though I only had 4 or 5 minutes to speak and talk about, transitioning through change and uncertainty and how are we going to move forward? What do you do when you hit your glass ceiling? All the things I'm talking to you all about now. The fact that I had that 4 to 5 minutes to express, explain, encourage, motivate, inspire people, it set me in a whole different level for people to be able to say, hey, this is a person who's really about it. This is a person who is not afraid. This is a person who takes vulnerability seriously and puts themselves in vulnerable states to be open. See, here's the thing. I have no idea of the complete reach of that call because it just happened Friday. But at the end of the day, I know I took initiative, that when I was asked to do something, I did it. So that's what I'm really saying to you all in the closing of this video. Take initiative. If you want to grow in a company, you want to grow in your work life, in your career life, because that's really what I'm talking about here. You have to take initiative. You have to champion new roles. You need to show up early. If you're supposed to be to work at 12 o'clock, show up at 11:45, show up at 11:50. Prepare before you have to be actually doing your role or doing your thing or be out on the floor. Show up early. Ask what needs to be done. Let your supervisors, your coworkers, and your managers see that you are serious about growth. Because I'll tell you this, when management can see that you're serious about growth, they will help you get there. Let me say that again. When management sees that you're serious about growth, family, they will help you get there. And I'm telling you, because even though I can't give you all the details of what's going on behind the scenes with me in these interviews, just know that I have the right people cheerleading me. I have the right people helping me. I have the right people guiding me. I have the right people really showing me what needs to be done in order to continue to be seen and to network. So I just want to encourage you all that if you feel like you've hit that glass ceiling in the position that you're in, really ask yourself what you need to do to take some initiative. What do you need to do to be seen? What do you need to do to really step out and put yourself in a position to make more money, to have more influence, to gain more network. Because here's the thing. No matter what has happened on the planet to any of us at any time, we all have the opportunity. And when I say this, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. We all have the opportunity to be better, to do better, and to make sure that the families that we're raising have the opportunity to have an even better life. So be on it, okay? Stay on it. And if you feel like you need to have some more encouragement and you need some more motivation, come back to this video and rewatch it. Because I'm telling you, as a human being sitting in front of you right now, I have gone through massive struggles. I have gone through massive challenges, physically, emotionally, mentally. But I'm still here. And I'm still fighting. And I know for a fact that the things that are for me will always be for me. But I also know this, that I have to be on the search for those things. I have to be actively seeking out those things. I have to be asking myself clarifying questions to get to where I really want to be. Okay? So I love you all. I appreciate you all. I want you all to know that you are where you are supposed to be. The things that are for you will always be for you. And life is not happening to you. It's happening for you. Okay? All right, y'all. If you love this video and you like this content that I'm putting out, make sure that you go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. Also, if you think someone else needs to hear it, go ahead and share the video because we never know who may be educated, motivated, or inspired. Okay? I'm your girl, Kiara Washington Speaks, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.